So the South African residential property market is showing signs of bouncing back in the midst of the COVID-19 pandemic. The growth is partly attributed to the decline in interest rates. Record low rates have captured the attention of first-time home buyers and motivated previous homeowners to re-enter the housing market. To talk to us about this boom and also what's expected, let's bring in Nondumiso Ncapai. She's the head of product at Absa Home Loans. Nondumiso, thanks for your time. It's great to have you with us. This is a development that is welcomed, no doubt. The question, though, is how long do we believe it will last?
Thanks, Ayanda, for having me. I think it's an interesting one, Ayanda, and I think you've just said it. You know, we've had the lowest interest rates for decades. Record decline, 3%, 300 basis points. And you're spot on. We've seen a significant increase coming from first-time buyers. You know, those that thought, actually, you know what, there's opportunity now to climb the property ladder. But I think also it's quite important to probably take a step back and reflect on the year that was. You know, the first half of last year, we saw a significant decline in applications, which, you know, if you look at H2, which is the second half of the year, there was an increase of 36% in applications. And no surprise, first-time buyers under the age of 35 really seeing the opportunity for the first time to enter the market. I think also what's interesting for us, Ayanda, we track as Absa Bank the homeowner and sentiment index, which we release on a quarterly basis, which tracks sentiments around buying, around selling, around property investment. And to us, you know, we've seen the biggest increase in sentiment towards the last quarter of 2020. And again, no surprise, very consistent, you know, with the excitement in the market around the opportunity to own property. But also at the same time, investors slightly pulling back and being cautious around this, Ayanda.
Yeah, and in fact, we're hearing now that there are predictions that the repo rate will remain unchanged. It's still at an unprecedented low rate as we speak. But what impact, if any, do you feel this will have on the current trends we're seeing?
Yeah, I think, Ayanda, certainly we believe that, you know, interest rates will remain as they are, at least up until end of the year. And slowly increase over time, and perhaps return to the, you know, the pre-lockdown levels probably by 2023. What this means, obviously, is that there will be continued interest in the market and sentiment towards buying, and certainly an opportunity for those that perhaps never had the opportunity in the past. And I think let's not forget as well that, you know, over and above the interest rates being favorable for buyers, you know, transfer duties are exempt for those that are buying properties up to R1 million, which is an added bonus as well into the mix.
Right.
So I think it will remain as such, Ayanda.
I wonder what this means for people who are landlords, though. Many people who are buying homes, especially for the first time, perhaps would have lived their lives renting a different property. You know, often the saying is one man's treasure is another man's trash, or the other way around. How are we seeing this translating in the rental space?
Yeah, very interesting. In fact, you know, when we look at the rental data, we know investors, you know, slightly pulled back, you know, choosing to be cautious around this time. But also what we started to see last year, and we talk about, you know, rental in good standing, you know, there were those that really pulled back in terms of paying on time. And that's really put a lot of pressure on property investors and choosing to be cautious and not overextending themselves. And you're spot on, you know, one man's treasure, you know, is not necessarily the same for everyone else. So there is pressure on investors. However, the sentiment is starting to pick up in the investor space, but they will always be cautious in comparison to your first-time buyers.
Absolutely. Fascinating developments. Thanks very much for helping us understand them a bit better. Nondumiso Ncapai is head of product at Absa Home Loans. Thanks very much indeed.